Hey man, we gotta start somewhere somehow.
Yep, everything has a beginning. Everything has an end.
I just start philosophical.
Well, I mean, you never know. We might make it huge. We might be shooting stars. It's got to be something or another.
It'd be nice.
So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, the article that I was reading was about Tfue. I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's spelled Tfue. And he's part of the FaZe clan organization, whatever they're called. So they have several employees that are gamers. They're contracted, and from the article that I was reading, they were saying that Tfue, I'm just going to say it like that from now on because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Right.
But they were saying that he's suing them because according to California laws, labor laws, that they are actually controlling what he does and what he, who he can talk to and be sponsored by.
So it's like a no compete.
In a way, yeah, because the gamers, they're supposed to be athletes,
Right.
esport athletes, right?
Right.
Even though they're not actual physical athletes. That's another thing that they're looking into as well. So they were saying that the way the FaZe has people employed under is under entertainment. And so under the entertainment, you have your own agency and you have your managers and stuff like that that go out and promote for you and they do this and that for you. But yet the gamers are doing that themselves. They're promoting the company, which is FaZe company, the FaZe organization.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how it's supposed to be done according to the labor law over there. And that's why Tfue is kind of, upset. More than upset.
You know how he fixes that problem, right? He moved out of California.
Yeah, but I mean, he's under contract. That's the whole thing. So they are gonna go to court over this, and by going to court, they're hoping to remodel the whole contract structure under the FaZe organization, so that way all the streamers and everybody that's contracted under them, they get a fair contract and not this crazy slave type of contract where you work for me, but yeah, you're gonna do everything that I say, and you can't talk to them, you can't talk to these people, you can't have these kind of interviews. It's like you're supposed to be an entertainer, right? Under their company, you're labeled as an entertainer. And yeah, entertainers, you know how they are. They can freely be interviewed and have events and stuff like that anywhere they want to go.
And
So,
I remember a while back, I went and was applying for a computer job, and they basically told me the same thing. They were like, "Hey, if you're working for us, you can't do any work on your own, can't do anything like that." I ain't doing a damn non-compete. I mean, stupid.
You just limit your options.
Exactly. I mean, it's like literally with the way that they were structuring their non-compete or whatever they want to call it.
mm-hmm.
It's like I couldn't even do work for my family because it would be encroaching on their business. Because it's a potential customer that they could have had.
Yeah, so it's basically what's going on with Tfue.
Yeah, man, that's stupid, man.
Yeah, and so they've been having several incidents as far as lots of other gamers. Lower gamers, not as popular as Tfue. But since he's one of the major celebrities in their group, it was trending on Twitter for several hours, up to 6 hours, I think, nonstop.
Damn.
Because he has like 10 million followers. So it got the attention of the media, and now it's going to court. And now because of him, because he's so famous among so many people, esports is going to get involved. The laws are going to most likely get changed, and they're going to start restructuring the whole contracts for everybody. Which that's what they're hoping to do. Which would be good for the streamer people.
No, that's the way it ought to be. I mean, okay, so I get it. Esports. Technically, it's about as much of a sport as golf is. But but I mean, but still, I mean, they're athletes, so they should be able to, you know, do their own thing. They should be able to promote themselves. They should be able to you know, if they want to go play this game or whatever, they should
be interviewed by like different companies.
Yeah, they want if they want to, you know, have a Twitch account where they're playing something other than Call of Duty or something just for fun. I mean, they should be able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Crazy.
Sorry, don't mind me. I'm listening.
Looking at Amazon, and Amazon has a little documentary kind of thing about Call of Duty, and like all the people like Fuse and I forget the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
But then like just watching the preview of it, like man, those guys, crazy like gamers.
They have some serious dedication that people really underestimate.
So like one of the things that like they were showing is like how like whenever, you know, they're doing their tournaments or whatever, you know, they're like their whole team is sitting here at a station, and each station has a video camera that's like recording their facial actions
while they play.
Yeah, and then like, man, it's crazy. Dude.
No. What's even more crazy is I don't remember exactly where it's at. I would have to look it up, but they built a facility where they combine actual athletes, basketball, football, soccer players, along with actual gamers, and they share the same facility.
Yeah,
together.
I've read about that. I can't remember where it's at. But.
So, yeah, they have actual like rooms where they have the computers and everything like that for the gamers to sit there and game their sessions that they need to. You know, the same setup that you were talking about. They have the camera in front of them and they're gaming and they're doing whatever they're doing. And then what they do, I think it's like they take an hour break or so. They take breaks. I don't remember exactly how long. So they take breaks.
I think they do what, if I remember correctly, I think what they do is they alternate. So like you have like the guys who are playing the video games, the gamers, and they're doing their thing, and then the athletes on the other side, you know, they're doing like weightlifting and you know, medicine ball, stuff like that, and then they alternate so the way the athletes can play video games to kind of, you know, calm down, and then the video gamers can, you know, get around and can walk around, can lift weights and do other stuff, so they're not just sitting there for like 8 hours. You know?
Yeah, and the whole theory behind that is, for example, the gamers, they always sit at the computer, right? They don't get enough exercise, so they do it that way in order for them to get exercise to maintain their health because they're always at the computer,
right?
And also they're able to game at a much higher level, more consistently,
right?
So that way they don't wear down as much. And for the athletes, they, instead of wearing their bodies out just constantly training, they are able to rest a little bit, and they're actually able to build that mentality, that reaction times, and you know, be able to process more information easier by gaming on the games that the gamers are doing. Right. That would be a really cool facility to go visit and see. You know, be able to go in there one day, game all you want, go exercise for a little bit, go back and game. That would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, go in there, game for a couple hours, and go get on a treadmill or lift some weights or something.
And where was this place at again?
I don't remember. I want to say it was like around like North Carolina or somewhere, but I could be wrong.
I thought it was in Europe, but
no,
again, I could be wrong too.
Well, the one that I remember looking at was actually here in the United States. I want to say it was like North Carolina or somewhere around in there. But yeah.
Crazy how several years ago, you know, whenever we were young, our parents used to be like, "Get off that game! You're never gonna learn anything.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do anything with that.
You're never gonna be able to make a living off of that."
And look how much esports people make.
Dude,
they make millions of dollars on the tournaments.
So like, there's YouTubers that all they do is just play video games. Like,
it's just stream their games,
like Minecraft and other games, and That's all they do. And like they make millions of dollars a year.
You know, it's funny how that works because I used to. Well, you did. All of us did. You probably still game a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was playing Overwatch before I came up here.
Yeah. So it's funny how there's a lot of people that look down on those type of streamers that just sit in front of a camera and play their games while other people watch them. Right. It's like, how can you have an enjoyment of watching other people play a game? And it's funny that people say that because I thought the same way too not that long ago.
No, I felt the same way.
And here recently, like there'll be a new game that comes out and I'm interested in it and I'm like, oh, there's YouTube. We can just go on YouTube and see who's playing that game. And then next thing you know, you're 2 hours into it, watching this guy play a game, and you're like, wow, now see what people are talking about. Like they just sit there and watch other people play games.
Yep, it makes a lot more sense after that.
Yeah. And at first I didn't even recognize that I was doing that for a while because like I would watch 2 or 3 games for hours on end, and then I realized I haven't bought these games yet, and yet I'm here watching other people play the game.
Yeah. No, I used to do like whenever I was big into Clash of Clans, I used to do the same thing. I used to sit and watch Clash of Clans videos, just watching people do attacks, and see how they were attacking, what they were using to attack with, where they were dropping and stuff like that. Because like we had people in our clan that they were just dum-dums. I mean, they would just drop all their troops in one area and they would just get decimated and you're like, come on.
Yeah.
And so like I actually made videos of like me doing attacks. We're like, look, see this attack? This works. This attack doesn't work. And then like I even have like some videos where I was just trying stuff. Like I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna throw 12 dragons at them and see what happens. Stuff like that. And I would upload those videos, so that way, the dum-dums could learn. I mean, I probably shouldn't call them dum-dums, but it's like they don't want to listen to anything you tell them. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, I know how to do this, and I'll do this, and 1 star. 1 star face punch. But yeah, so I mean, I used to do that. Like I'd sit there for like hours just watching like Clash of Clans videos and like I had a couple of guys that I liked to watch and just watching them do their attacks and see what they were doing. So I remember as a kid I hated watching people play video games.
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't playing it, it was boring.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah,
you want a part of that action.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So
yeah, I know that feeling because I remember like when the PlayStation 2 came out. My friend was across the street, and he was the first one that got it, and I would be there all the time. And it's funny because like he got it, and he didn't really play with the PlayStation that much. He wasn't big into video games or anything. He just got it just because.
Those are the best friends to have.
Yeah, and I would go over there all the time, and he would let me play on it.
Yep. Exactly.
That's how I got started. And whenever he would be playing, he would just be like, whatever, oh, I lost, and then it would just be like, dude, come on, like, get into it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, how can you just be so nonchalant and not give a fuck about it? Like,
yeah.
Get into it.
It's like a while back, this was before I got married and everything, me and my cousin, like almost every other Friday night, sometimes like a couple Friday nights in a row, what we would do is we would play Sniper Elite on PlayStation 2. And Sniper Elite by itself is a fantastic game. I mean, it's one of the funnest games I've ever played. And I mean, because it was one of the first games that introduced the Matrix-style bullet shot.
Yeah, like bullet time.
Yeah. And, so like, we would play, and I mean, we would get smashed, drunk, play it, run around, sniping people.
Yep.
And I mean, it was so much fun. And then, but I remember one of my friends came over one night and was playing. I just remember sitting on the couch, like almost having a panic attack, just like, oh my god, I'm ready to play. Oh my god. But man, good stuff.
Yep. That's how, and like I was saying earlier, that's how we all started. We would sit there and game for hours, and parents would walk in, get off that game, you're never gonna learn anything.
You killed your brain cells. You know what was funny too is like I remember it was like 7th or 8th grade, and we had that mandatory keyboarding class. We had to learn how to type.
I remember that.
And I remember my teacher.
Did your class have like a little cloth over the keyboard?
No.
Yeah.
So in our school,
kept looking at
in our school they made us put a cloth over our hands over the keyboard, and we had to memorize the keys by touch.
Ours was actually a sheet that covered the keyboard, and it would. Well, there was 2 different methods they had. They had one where it would cover all the keys with like a rubber cover, so you could still type, but you couldn't see what the key letters were.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was if you kept looking down at your hands, they had this cardboard thing that literally sat like 2 legs here and then came up and just covered your hands. So you had to put your hands underneath it, and if you looked down, all you saw was this big piece of cardboard, and that was how you learned.
Yeah,
that's how I
never
learned
had anything like that. But we did you guys have computers, or were you using typewriters?
No, the computer.
Yeah, so we had typewriters.
Oh, that's why.
And yeah, and so you know we were ting ting.
Damn,
But like we so like when we were doing that, I remember like 3 or 4 weeks in, and we had like some people that could type like 60 words a minute. You know, and I could type like 5. But like I remember the teacher, she'd saying one day, she's like, you know, all you kids that play video games ought to be good at this because your fast twitch in your fingers, you know, should be you should be able to type fast. I'm like, lady, I don't know what you think video gamers do, but I don't do this playing video games. I do this playing video games. You know. So, but yeah, but it was like, I mean, that was about
we only use 4 fingers.
I mean, that was like, no, this was before that. This was was the Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah.
So
2 fingers.
Yeah, it was just 2 fingers.
2 fingers.
That was it. I mean, because this was, because it wasn't until the Nintendo, Super Nintendo where you got the left and right.
The little triggers on top,
Yeah, so like, I mean, this is it. This is all we had. We had up and down, left and right, and we had A and B.
A and B. Come on, let's
go. That was
it.
And, but I remember that was like the only class that I ever had less than a C in. And I was so mad. But then that summer, I found the Yahoo, or actually I think it was called GeoCities chat rooms.
I kind of remember that.
After I found that, man, I went from doing this to, I mean, like over the summer, like it was crazy. I mean, but yeah, so.
It took me a really long time to get into actually typing properly, because I could kind of do it like one by one, but I never actually had the need to do it because back then we had just the normal console games, and I didn't have a computer at home, so it's like I'm never gonna use a computer, so why do I need to learn how to type properly?
Yeah. But
it wasn't until like high school, I think, is whenever I started to learn.
Because like I remember it was that year, because like I mean I was like I damn near failed that class, and I just couldn't figure it out. And after that school year, it was that summer, and I remember one day like I was just doing something. It was almost like it happened overnight because I remember kind of looking at the keyboard kind of thing, and then. I just remember one day I just get on there and I'm just like, "What the hell is going on?" I can actually type, and from that point on, like I've never had any issues.
Come on, Redbeard, admit it. It was a cute girl, wasn't it?
It was no, it was girl behind me. the girl that lived behind me. She was like 3 or 4 grades younger than me, but she had an older cousin, and she was one that I talked to all the time. And
that's where it came from. Huh?
Yeah, there was motivation behind that.
ASL. Yeah. You remember that?
ASL?
ASL? Age, sex, location.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
You go into the chat rooms right away.
Yeah,
you meet
ASL,
someone. ASL.
Yeah. And then GeoCities back at the time, the chat rooms, that was the thing, right? So like GeoCities, you log into the chat rooms, you had these different chat rooms you can go to, and I mean you could do and it wasn't regulated. Like there was like no age restriction because you got to remember this was back.
Their age restriction was you have to be 18. Press yes to
continue. So you got to remember,
right?
You got to remember that.
Are you old enough? Yes.
Yeah.
This was probably 98, 99 when I was in GeoCities. Internet, the first webpage went live in 95. So like all that, internet security stuff, that shit didn't exist back then. And so like literally you could just go in and like I remember there was a lesbian one. And I would just go in there, pretend to be a woman.
This guy.
And I had a female avatar and everything.
Oh my
God. And I would go in there and I would, just talk to them just like I was a female.
What were you thinking? Why? Were you desperate back then or what?
Dude, I was like 13, 14. I was like, man, I didn't care. They were sending me nude pics. I didn't give a shit.
See, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie.
I have to agree. If you're getting pics like that, okay.
Yeah.
You did good.
No, I'm saying it. I mean,
I used to pretend to be a chick so that way I could get free shit on RuneScape. Like, people would always want a girlfriend, so like you just pretend to be a girl and they'd give you like free gear and gold. Like it was stupid easy.
It was same way. Like you go to these chat rooms. I mean, there was literally no authentication or anything. You just logged in, right? And once you log in, you got all the chat rooms. You just pick one, double click it, go into it, boom. And even the over 18 ones, like they would say over 18, but there was no authentication. Like,
right.
You didn't have to say, "Oh yeah, I'm 18" or anything. You just logged into it. So like, yeah, you go in and be like, "How old are you?" 28.
Dang, you were like, 13.
Yeah.
I used to always go with my mom's birthday because it was so easy to remember. 1966.
I remember doing that too. Every time we try to access a website and they ask for an age, you always type in your parents.
Well, mine was, I would always do my birthday, August 25th, but I would use my mom's year. Because I would always forget what day and month my mom's birthday was, but I could always remember the year.
Yeah.
So I would do my birthday and month, but her year. So that way I was old enough, but I could remember, it was at least on my birthday if I would recover the account. Because it's really weird to go to my mom and be like, "Hey, Mom, when's your birthday again?"
When's
She's
your
like,
birthday?
"Why? I forgot the password for something and I need to know." It's like, "Why do you have my birthday? I needed to be 18. Like, what are you on, huh?"
Right?
Yeah, I mean, back then, there wasn't a whole lot of that. I mean, I remember ICQ?
ICQ.
Or IRQ.
What did that stand for?
So, I don't remember what it stands for. All right. Internet.
There was IRC.
Yeah, there was IRC.
Oh, yeah, ICQ.
ICQ.
Yeah, ICQ was like an...
it was like a messenger.
Predecessor to AIM.
Yeah. So I think they came out right about the same time. But yeah, ICQ was basically like, instant messenger kind of thing, right? Like one of the first ones. Well, so they know the same thing. Like you go on the ICQ, and this tells you how far we've come. So back then, this was 95, 96, about 97, 98. And you log into ICQ, and there wasn't a search function, so you couldn't search for people. But like if you were in a chat room, or if you had Instant Messenger, or you had AOL or whatever, and you had an ICQ username, then you could just add them, and then you could see when they're online, all that kind of stuff, right? So one of the coolest features was you could right-click on their name, and it would give you their location, it would give you their IP address, it would give you a bunch of other information, right? Well, cool thing is if you had their IP address, then we had tools where you just put in the IP address and hit ping, ping it, make sure it was online, and then you could hit a button and it would lock the mouse to the upper right hand corner, so they couldn't move the mouse. The only way they could do it was they had to reboot their computer.
What the hell,
dude? There was stupid stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't like hacking into the computer, but you could like control the mouse and you could spit out their CD-ROM tray, stuff like that. And I used to do that shit to people all the time, and they think that their damn computer was possessed because the CD-ROM keep coming out.
Don't mess with me.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was called NetBus is what would do that. Just stuff like that. And yeah, so like we ICQ forever, and then and of course this was back when there was dial-up, so there wasn't like a whole lot of like file transfer going on because it was too damn slow. But then we had AOL because that was how you logged on. Mm-hmm. And then I remember getting into AOL, and I would go into AOL chat rooms and just talk to people. And sometimes I'd pretend to be female. Sometimes I'd pretend to be just older, whatever, And then I'd be like, oh, hey,
I remember, yeah.
I'd be like, hey, if you have ICQ, why don't you give me your ID? And I'll add you. We can talk on ICQ. We want to have AOL. And, do that, get them on ICQ, and then IP address, pink. Yeah, how you like your mouse right now? It's a fun time. You can't do that shit no more. Do that shit, then you go to jail.
Such a troublemaker, man.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I remember having to log into AOL to get online.
Yeah, and then once you got logged into AOL, then you still had to have a browser or something like that. And then most people nowadays don't even know what Netscape Navigator is, but that was the worst browser in existence.
Netscape, that sounds familiar.
Well, at the time it was about the only one you had. You had Netscape Navigator and you had Internet Explorer. That was about it. Mm. Didn't really have many more. I think you may have had Safari. You may have had Safari.
Oh, for Apple, yeah.
For Apple, yeah.
Speaking of browsers, I just read an article, also again today, that Firefox is about to roll out a new update that's supposed to make it 40% faster. Shit.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to. They're hoping will help them compete against Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's going to pretty much just be Firefox versus Chrome. That Microsoft jumped ship with their internet browsers.
Yep.
It's just Chrome and Firefox.
It's supposed to be crazy because it's already fast enough. I mean, if you have a nice computer, nice processor, you're running an SSD, which you should be. Yeah. They just are going to load nice and fast. If you have an ad blocker, especially if you have an ad blocker, all pages are going to load extremely fast. On my computer, there is absolutely no wait time. You click on it and it's instant.
Right.
And for it to be 40% faster, for Firefox to be 40% faster, and it's already snappy, you click on it and it just pops up. Yeah.
Man, so
it's going to come to the point where it's going to be 200% faster, where basically all you got to think about is what webpage to visit, and it's just going to pop up right in front of you. Can you imagine that?
That's the dream.
Actually, I remember there was I don't even know the company or what the name of it was, but there was this little headset thing that you can put on your head, obviously, and plug it into the computer, and you can move the mouse on the screen.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, they've got basic inputs essentially. You can use basic input with your brain, or do basic stuff with your brain. Mm-hmm. You can move the mouse around. I think they got it to where you can click now.
Yeah.
And then, there was something else I read about that because it ties in with Elon Musk's Neuralink, where he's trying to basically increase the bandwidth between humans and computers. Mm-hmm. And and there was some other articles floating around about that. Now I can't remember what the hell it was.
Yeah, well, I saw an article this morning. I was trying to find it, but it's not on my feed anymore. But so I guess AT&T, because I remember whenever AT&T bought Comcast or Time Warner, I think it was Time Warner they bought. Anyway, so I remember when they bought that, I was like, why are they doing that? You know, and then I get to thinking, you know, Time Warner having cable, so then it gives them an alternative to DirecTV, right? So now AT&T, you know, they can run cable to your house, and they can, or you can get fiber through Uverse, or you can get DirecTV, whatever, right? Well, anyway, so the article I was reading this morning, AT&T, the long-term scope that AT&T has is they're not trying to get back to the days where they were Mobile, where they control like all the telephones or whatever.
Right.
What they're doing is now that they bought Time Warner, they own CNN, they own HBO, they own Cartoon Network, a bunch of channels.
Right.
Because of the Time Warner deal. But what they're wanting to do is take those channels and incorporate those into a streaming service like Netflix.
That's what everybody wants to
So-
do with owns media.
Yeah, so what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it to where you have, say, HBO, CNN, Cartoon Network, whatever, right? So you can literally watch it any way you want to. You have DirecTV, boom, you watch it, DirecTV. You have Uverse or whatever, then you can watch it, because not only do they have that, they also have an app that they created, or that they're borrowing from somebody or something, or licensing from somebody. But this app allows you to, on any device, Android, iOS, smart TVs, whatever, it allows you to watch all those channels for free, as long as you have AT&T. Basically, you just sign up with your AT&T account, and you have all those channels.
Everything available.
Everything. So, like, well, the ones that they own. So, like HBO.
Right.
I think
But
it's
still,
like, it's like 35 channels or something like that. So that's like basically the channels we had growing up, because we only had like 45 channels, right? So it's like basically, you know, we had all those channels that we had when we were growing up over open broadcast. Now you can stream them to your laptop, your phone, tablet, whatever, and you can do it. I mean, you can do that across the internet. If you have, like I said, if you have their cable, the AT&T cable or DirecTV, you have all those channels available to you and everything like that. And it's a pretty sweet deal. And then, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it to where, not that they're controlling everything, but they want it to be where they can stream all those channels to any device, but at the same time, they can push out content, and it goes to every device. Like, say, for like HBO, right? So they just push the HBO content, and then if you're watching it on your phone, you're watching it on your tablet, you're watching it on your laptop, whatever, boom, it's there. Then they can use that to track what you're watching, so that way they can target advertising to you. And then on top of that, they can track the advertising that you're getting and what you're clicking on and what you're not clicking on. So that way, all the companies that are advertising can actually get like feedback, like instant feedback on, you know, what advertisements are working and what advertisements aren't working. And they're willing to pay AT&T extra for all of that, just so that way they can, you know, they can get the right commercials and right advertisements to the right people, right? So AT&T, yeah, they're making money off of cell phones and you know, their streaming and their, you know, fiber and stuff like that, but they're wanting to, you know, basically make almost the same amount off of the advertising. Wow. Yeah. pretty crazy.
I mean, as much as a lot of people hate on them, that's actually a pretty smart move.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really complain if you're on their side, especially if you work for them, because I mean, they're making money left and right. It doesn't matter where you turn nowadays. AT&T's there. Yeah. So it's a pretty smart move to do it that way.
Because like I was also reading like for like the past 2 quarters, AT&T cell phone service has like been at a standstill. Like they haven't been getting new customers or anything like that. So what they're hoping is that with they're having this Watch It Now app or whatever it is it's called, and by having that, I mean you can literally just pick up your cell phone, watch Game of Thrones on your cell phone, and not ever have to have cable or DirecTV or anything like that. You can watch it on your cell phone.
Yeah.
But you have to have AT&T service for that. It won't be available to anybody else for AT&T. So if people know that, if they know they have that AT&T phone, I'll get an AT&T phone, with that service, whatever, right?